Thanks for joining us today on a beautiful day in Toronto in what should be a safe park in the GTA. But after 11 years of the Liberals' catch and release policies, crime has exploded across here in the GTA, across Peel region. Last week, Stats Canada revealed that violent crime has more than doubled in Peel since 2015. Extortion is up almost 500%, sexual assaults nearly 79%, and motor vehicle theft 179% over that same period. Communities like this that once felt safe, raising a family, taking your kids to the park, enjoying a day out, have become places that you're scared to walk through. A neighborhood is supposed to be a place where you can feel safe. While Liberals continue targeting law-abiding gun owners, illegal gun crime has become rampant in places like this and in Peel. Brampton and Mississauga have seen an astonishing 103 shootings in the first 6 months of this year compared to 58 in the same time last year. That means that something isn't working. Firearms crimes are up 830% since 2015. Even the deputy chief of Peel Region said that it's not uncommon for multiple arrests to happen with multiple guns coming over the border from the U.S. Meanwhile, Liberal soft-on-crime legislation like Bill C-75 and C-5 and the so-called principle of restraint have made it easier for repeat violent offenders to terrorize once safe neighborhoods. Canadians are seeing the consequences of these reckless policies. Communities across the GTA are witnessing attacks on their schools, on their community centers, and on their places of worship. Hate crimes are up 245%, and a staggering more than 340% when it comes to anti-Semitic crimes. We saw that play out on the streets of Toronto in the last week, while 2 Jewish-owned businesses in Toronto were shot at. Meanwhile, the Liberal government couldn't even answer how many folks in the IRGC agents they know that are here, whether they've deported them or not. In the last decade, the Liberal government in Canada has become a place where repeat violent offenders are released back into our streets, where hate crimes have become normalized, and where drug trafficking and extortion and gun violence run rampant. And families across this region, across Peel region, and across the country are paying the price that puts the interests of criminals ahead of the interests of victims. With the release of the 2025 Stats Canada figures, Canadians learn that the total incidents of violent crime are actually up in the last year. They have risen by a whopping 57% since the Liberals took power. I want to say that the Prime Minister pitched himself as radical change. So far, this government has weakened the criminal code with the get out of jail free card in its flagship criminal legislation, empowering judges to ignore almost every mandatory minimum, including for extortion with a firearm, which we have seen a rise in this country of 330%. Meanwhile, the soft on crime bills that we've always had under the last Liberal government and including this Liberal government, C-75 and C-5 remain on the books. With gun crime up more than double since 2025, the Liberals are still going after tested hunters and farmers and sport shooters with their costly gun grab. The point is that nothing has changed, and only the Conservatives have been putting forward real solutions that include the Jail Not Bail Act that would have ended Liberal bail. We also passed C-225, Bailey's Law, to protect the victims of intimate partner violence and to hold repeat offenders to account. We are here in this community and in communities across the country that hear this echo, that enough is enough. We've got to keep our streets safe, and it has to start with a real focus on crime, on criminals, and keeping those behind bars. I'm here with my colleagues Roman Baber from York Centre and Amarjeet Gill from Brampton West, and I'd like to pass it over to Roman.
Thank you, Deputy Leader. Good afternoon. Thank you. I'm Member of Parliament Roman Baber. I'm here today as a federal Member of Parliament representing one of Canada's largest Jewish communities. Just this week, a bakery and another Jewish-owned business were hit by gunfire. After months of attacks on synagogues, schools, and Jewish-owned businesses, all I continue to hear from the Liberal government is a bunch of platitudes. Hate has no place here, words lead to violence, and so on and so forth. But statements and tweets aren't helping us. The Jewish community is under attack. The Liberal government failed us, and no one is talking about law enforcement. Conservatives have real solutions to help the Jewish community. First, this is beyond a local law enforcement matter. We need the strength and expertise of the RCMP in Toronto and York region to address the increased threats to our community. The RCMP has a unit, the Integrated National Security Enforcement Team, who work with the CBSA, who work with local police. The RCMP needs to be empowered to intervene locally to protect the Jewish community. We also know that there are foreign operatives in Canada. Over 700 Iranian Revolutionary Guards, but only one has been deported thus far. And according to Global News, there are over 450 people connected to Hamas in Canada. Well, it's time that the Liberals do something about that. Let's investigate these networks. Let's expel these individuals if they detain the law or break it. Finally, for years, Conservatives have been calling for the Foreign Agent Registry. After missing multiple launch deadlines, we have little faith that the registry will be launched next month as planned yet again. But now we also understand that the administrative fines for failure to comply with the registry's requirements may be as low as $250. The registry cannot wait any longer, and it has to be done right. We must compel individuals working on behalf of foreign governments to register so they're out in the open. That can give us leads into some of these networks and help eliminate some of these threats. The Liberals have not offered the Jewish community any concrete solutions from this wave of terror. Pierre Poilievre and Canada's Conservatives will offer real solutions and real actions to defend Canada's Jewish community. Thank you. I'm pleased to invite my friend and fellow member on the Justice Committee, MP Amarjeet Gill from Brampton West.
Thank you, Roman. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. I want to thank my colleagues, MP Melissa Lantsman and MP Roman Baber, for standing together today to address one of the most important issues facing Canadians, keeping our communities safe. Recently, Statistics Canada released its latest police-reported crime statistics, and the numbers paint a troubling picture. Across Canada, violent crime has risen by 57% since the Liberals took office. Here in Peel region, the situation is even more alarming and worse. According to Statistics Canada, violent crime has increased by 105%, sexual assaults are up by 79%, firearms-related crime has increased by an astonishing 830%, extortion has risen by 483%, and motor vehicle theft has increased by 189%. These are not just numbers. These are families who no longer feel safe in their neighborhoods and communities. These are businesses owners facing repeated theft and extortion. These are the victims who deserve a justice system that protects them, not one that repeatedly gives violent offenders another chance. For years, the Liberal government has weakened our justice system through soft on crime, like Bill C5 and C75, making it easier for repeat offenders to be released back into our communities. Now, with Bill C16, they have gone even further by allowing judges to ignore mandatory minimum sentences for serious offenses, including firearm extortions, human trafficking, and aggravated sexual assault with a firearm. Our police officers are doing everything they can to protect our communities, but they should not have to arrest the same dangerous offender over and over because Liberal policies put criminals ahead of victims. Now is the time to put victims ahead of criminals. We have put forward real solutions, including stronger bail laws through our Jail Not Bail Act, and Bailey's laws to better protect victims of intimate partner violence and hold repeat offenders accountable. Time and again, those proposals have been voted down by the Liberal government. Canadians deserve a justice system that puts victims first, supports law enforcement, and ensures violent criminals face meaningful consequences. That is what Conservatives will continue fighting for. Under the leadership of Honorable Pierre Poilievre, Conservatives are committed to repeal the Liberals' soft on crime laws, restoring accountability to our justice system, and ensuring Canadians once again feel safe in their communities and neighborhoods. Thank you, and we look forward to your questions.
Good. Okay. No questions. Thanks.